Well, good afternoon. Here we are back in East Tennessee. Today we're going to look at what's involved in getting our 2012 Honda CR-V ready to go to Maine. Every year about this time we take the Tundra up and we haul our CR-V up to Maine. We typically don't leave it up there in the winter because salt, and this is a 2012. It's in awesome shape. So the CR-V is typically in Maine from like May through Thanksgiving, maybe a little bit earlier than Thanksgiving. And this time when we brought it back down, we let our son use the car, and he works in construction and he does a lot of fly fishing. You can watch him fish on Alex Outside. It's his YouTube channel. But needless to say, the car gets a lot of off-road use. So we wanted to have it checked over before we took it to Maine, because where we stay in Maine is near Moosehead Lake. And there's not a lot of places to get your car worked on should you have an issue. Even an oil change, you would have to schedule out, a couple of weeks. And if you had anything major, you may not have your vehicle for a while. So we're going to look at the various systems of the car and fix whatever it is that we need to have fixed up. So first thing to do, right, is you look at the dashboard and you see if there's any warning lights. And as you can see in this image, obviously there's a warning light. The tire pressure management system is reporting an error on one of the tires. And the scan tool showed that it was the driver's side front that was having the issue. So we have to get that resolved, if nothing else, so that you're not bothered with the light for hours and hours, right? Next, we're going to check the air filters. This is the engine compartment air filter, and you can see that it's pretty messed up, as you would expect by being driven off-road and in construction sites, etc. So this filter is, I think I replaced this filter in October, so it's 6 months old about, and yeah, it's pretty devastated. This is the cabin air filter, and you can see it's in pretty much the same shade. So both these air filters will be replaced. Next, we're going to check tires. And you'll notice this tire gauge is a little bit under 3 millimeters. This particular manufacturer recommends that you replace the tires once you have less than 3 millimeters of tire tread left. So you can get this gauge on Amazon, and it's like $20 or whatever. But we checked all the tires. This is a front tire. This is a, looks like another front tire. This is a rear tire, and this is a rear tire. So the rear tires are in a little bit better shape than the front tires. However, we're taking it to Maine, and it's going to be 6 months again, probably, before it gets looked at again. So we're going to go ahead and replace all 4 tires. So while we're looking at the tires, you might as well look at the brakes. And the yellow gauge you see here is, again, you can just get it from Amazon. But it's showing that it's probably got 3 millimeters and a little bit more. Manufacturer recommends that you replace the brake pads when there's less than 3.3 or 3.4 millimeters, I can't remember exactly, of pad left. If it was under that, under 3 millimeters, you would have to use the red gauge, and then you would know, right, that you need to replace this. If it's above like 4 millimeters, maybe 8 millimeters, you'll have a a green gauge. So the front brakes were all, yellow gauge. The back brakes were in a little bit better shape, so they could have gone longer, but once again, you know, when's that car going to be at the shop again, right? So we're going to go ahead and replace the brakes all the way around as well. So while you're down there looking at the brakes, you might as well look at the suspension. This is the strut on the driver's side front, and we'll look at the passenger side front here in just a minute. And you'll notice that the rubber around it, the strut's not leaking any fluid. However, you know, it's imminent, right? I mean, this thing has been driven off-road, obviously, right? So we're going to replace the struts on both sides of the car. And then while we're looking at the struts, we're going to look at the control arms, and you can see that this bushing here is starting to crack. This is original control arms, 186,000 miles on this car, and these control arms are original to the car. So we're going to go ahead and replace the control arms here. And this is the looks like the passenger side maybe. And we'll replace this one too. It's in pretty much the same shape. And then while you're at the control arm, right, all you have to do is look down and you'll notice that the ball joints are also, the rubber around the ball joints is starting to fail. So just replace the whole thing, right? And this is the other side. So while I was looking at the suspension, I noticed that there was a drop of oil on the oil filter. And I thought, well, that's kind of weird. So I did a little bit more investigation, and what I determined was it's leaking from the drain plug and also around the gasket. So the last time this car got an oil change, it was taken to one of those quick oil change places. And what we determined was that the drain plug got stripped out. So somebody probably used a air gun or whatever to put the drain plug back in. And right, so now we have leaks. So, you know, great, you took it to a quick stop oil change and it cost $100 for an oil change, and now you're going to spend almost $1,000 in parts and labor and replacing the oil pan. So yeah, usually if you can do the oil change yourself, you're probably better off. Another picture of the oil pan, etc. So going up top on the car, we checked the battery. The battery had been showing low voltage. So when you get into the car and you turn the key on to auxiliary or accessory mode, then we have a USB outlet that you plug into the cigarette lighter. And one of the features of this USB outlet is that it shows you what the current voltage is. And invariably, when I first get in the car, it'll be 10 and a half, 11, 11 and a half. Once you get in the car and you start it, if it starts, then life is good, right? It'll charge the battery, and typically for the rest of the day, you don't have any challenges. But I've known for, you know, almost a year that the battery was not in the best shape. That's why I bought one of those USB adapters. So being again that we're going to Maine for a long time, we just go ahead and replace the battery, right? Looking at the terminals on the battery, I thought I'd just show this guys to you because I have a little story here. The positive terminal always seems to get the corrosion, right? The negative almost never. And when I was growing up, I had a 1969 Volkswagen, 68 Volkswagen, flat window Volkswagen. And the terminals would always get corroded, get fouled, right? And my grandfather would always take a can of Coca-Cola, and pour a little bit on the terminal, and you see it just fizz, and then eventually there'd be no more corrosion on it, right? But in a Volkswagen, you have to take the back seat out of it, and then you clean off the battery terminal. 1 year, I got ants in my car because Coca-Cola, right? So eventually I moved to Diet Coke because, yeah, no ants. But it's still, one of those old school hacks. When you see a battery terminal like this, just get a Diet Coke, pour a little Diet Coke on it, and you're all right. Of course, you can, they have ointment, if you will, a gel and a little cloth gasket that you can put on it to prevent this too. But, Diet Coke. Here's the negative, and you'll see that it's totally fine. So while you're in there, you check all the fluids, right? Your windshield wiper fluid, and your coolant. Or is the car leaking? Is it okay? And the coolant was fine. So the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to replace the windshield wiper blades, and we don't replace the arm. You know how you can go to a parts store and you can buy the whole plastic component, you just clip it on. We don't do that. We've never done that with any of our cars, except for the Tundra. The Tundra can't do what we do, but you can just buy a refill from the manufacturer, and it's only the rubber blade. And we did this on my Volkswagen back in the day, and all of our Hondas, and our Volkswagens, and whatever. And it's so much less expensive, and without the whole plastic piece, what we do is we buy 2 sets of the inserts, and then we just keep the inserts where the spare tire is, because it's flexible, right? You just put it in there, and when you need to replace your windshield wiper blades, you just grab an insert and you pull it out and you slide it in, and life goes on. And when you use one, you order a couple more, right? And they're like $10 a piece. It's easy, right? So simple. So I'll probably do a video on how to do all of that, simply because my youngest daughter is going to end up having to do that here shortly. And rather than me going up there or having her come down here to show her how to do all that stuff, just do a video, just like we do all the camping videos, and then she can refer back to that video as to how that all works. So anyway, the CRV will be ready to go here. Well, it is ready to go here as I'm recording this. So yeah, we'll put it on the back of the Tundra and trailer it up to Maine. That's the end of this video. If you have any questions, please ask in the comments. If I misstated any parts, or you have any other recommendations, then I had a comment on a video one time that I needed to check my headlight fluid. Right? Yeah. Clever people. Anyway, be kind to one another until we see each other again. Gray and I always say it's a crazy world. So take care.